Hello and welcome to the EFN Presents review of the My Little Pony comic issue 11, Nay Anything. A fair warning guys, it will be covering the whole comic here, so if you don't want spoilers, go and check the comic out, and then come on back. This issue marks the beginning of the fourth storyline in the My Little Pony comics. Like the last story, Zen and the Art of Gazebo Repair, this is a more light-hearted two-part story. This time focusing on how Cadance and Shining Armor met. Cover A for this issue is by Andy Price, and could this be another cover that's actually related to the story inside? Heck yeah, it is! With just a few elements, we can surmise that this takes place when they're both seniors in high school, likely told to us as a flashback. We know a bit about each of their characters, seeing Shining Armor was in LARP Club, and Cadance was Homecoming Queen and Prom Queen, which gives us a good idea of how this is all going to go down. And we can see that it's going to revolve around a fall formal dance. Thanks, cover. You're so useful. Now, is a corsage still a corsage when it's for a pony, or is it more of a snack? Aside from informative, the yearbook cover is a pretty cool design. We get to see these very 80s looks on the characters. Of course, it has to include Cheerilee from Call of the Cutie. And the juniors page is packed with yearbook photos of Lyra, a very Fonz-looking Soren, Thunderlane, and even Wheatgrass from Cook and Price's Rarity Microseries comic. Wait a minute. High school. Ponies. Haven't we seen this somewhere before? In a nutshell, we have the main six visiting Cadance and Shining Armor in Canterlot, where Fluttershy inquires how the two ponies met. Flashback time as we jump back to Cadance and Shining Armor as seniors in high school. Shining Armor is a LARPing Dungeons and Dragons, Oubliettes and Ogres, nice copyright dodge there guys, geek, while Cadance is basically the most popular pony in school. Shining Armor gets love-struck in a chance encounter with the pink alicorn and knows in his heart that it's meant to be. His friends help him win her over by completing
the 3 trials.
Meet her, a grand gesture, and win the crown at the dance. Man, that last part gives me deja vu. Plans go awry, and we leave off with Cadance being asked to the dance by Shining's rival, Buck. While the 80s references and over-the-top antics might garner the favor of some, the core story is likely to attract its fair share of ire. Those that didn't like Equestria Girls for the high school drama aspect will find this story as cliché as they come. In fact, let's see how well this issue stacks up against the movie. Equestria Girls focused on restoring friendships and acquiring an object of interest through hard work and character. This comic focuses on getting the girl and acquiring a girl through zany antics and destiny. In Equestria Girls, different groups of students exist in peaceful coexistence. Here, they openly attack each other because differences. Yes, I know that Buck is the villain here like Sunset Shimmer, but Buck's more of a regular jerk than a true villain. Equestria Girls shows that a common objective can bring groups together to achieve something. Here, they struggle to break down barriers like Reagan during the Cold War. Do I think the story is bad? Absolutely not. It's being exactly what it wants to, which is a lighthearted, tropic slice-of-life tale that's exploring, well, the origin story of Cadance and Shining Armor in a way. And when the title of the comic is referencing a late 80s romantic comedy drama starring John Cusack, expect cheese, and lots of it. Taking place in Canterlot and centered around a high school no less, the comic features a lot of new environments. Jumping between exterior daytime, exterior nighttime, interior school, warehouse, basement, and stadium settings also keeps things really fresh and moving along. Though nothing really screamed Canterlot to me. This is Canterlot. This is also Canterlot. This is not Canterlot. For the story the comic's going for, Canterlot's aesthetic might clash, but it seems like they just wanted to borrow the characters here and nothing else. Maybe they realized that the background references, like the crate from the Raiders of the Lost Ark, just wouldn't fit in a classic My Little Pony setting. Great character work and shading, as always, gives us a good feel of the range of Shining Armor's emotions throughout the comic. The layout stays pretty stock, unfortunately, and while a lot of scenes don't warrant a very dynamic layout, even at the big scene at the end with the polo game, complete with actual Acme products, is disappointingly bland. The big redeeming scene for the artwork is a huge 2-page spread showcasing Shining's rock ballad during the parade. There's plenty to take in here if you want to spot all the references. To get you started, hey look, Devo and a sufficient amount of cowbell. How awesome is this scene? Awesome enough to give Vinyl Scratch her cutie mark. Also, time to start speculating on who that pony is. But what of the story itself? People in this fandom can get rather protective about certain characters. Sometimes for silly reasons, sometimes for good ones. Certain stories just shouldn't be told. Discord's origin story? Probably shouldn't be told. Some aspects of a character or an event transcend explanation. There's literally nothing that could be said that would elevate the subject above the level achieved by the wonder and mystery of the story left untold. But Cadence and Shining Armor's strength as characters doesn't rely on their mysterious past. Cadence is Twilight's foal sitter, which as we find out comes from Shining's plot to meet her. This is a story I can't see them creating an episode around, so it's nice to see the comic rounding out the canon a little. Stories like this are a perfect way of understanding how the characters became who they are, and makes them more realistic and relatable in the process. And being able to relate to the character lets us reflect on what their stories say about ourselves, and helps us better learn from them, which is a big part of what My Little Pony is all about. And tying the story into how Cadence became Twilight's foal sitter or Vinyl got her cutie mark is a nice way of tying the characters in the world together, like in the Cutie Mark Chronicles. While it's mostly borrowed the characters and thrown them into a stock high school setting, the comic does a respectable job showing them at a very different point in their lives. And if Shining Armor doesn't seem like the type to play Dungeons & Dragons, just remember that Vin Diesel's been playing it for over 20 years. Though Cadence's interaction with Shining Armor is as limited as her appearances, clearly his efforts pay off as she's truly moved by his song, starting the applause and in the end berating Buck for his heckling. While we don't focus much on Cadence's character, she comes off consistent with her character's magic focus, that being love. It's not a stretch to say that she'd be more touched by Shining Armor's feelings of, yeah, I want you, than Buck's, yeah, you want me. Hopefully Cadence is focused on more in the next issue though. This is both their story after all. This issue gives us a new look on some characters we already know and ties a number of events up into a larger narrative that shows how this story shaped the lives of a lot of ponies, not just Cadence and Shining Armor. However, at the core of the story, despite its charm, there's really nothing new here we haven't seen before. But this team's earned our confidence, especially after the great work on the last two-part story with Big Mac, and they're sure to catch us off guard again in the second half with The Wild Stallion Within. See you next time.